So, the new Final Fantasy is out. Well, I say new, but it's actually a remake of Final Fantasy VII. But it's so good, guys. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my god, I just wanna eat it. I wish I could eat it, but that's not how. Hey, did you know that Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy VII exist in the same universe? Yeah, it's true. There's a boy on the airship of Final Fantasy X-2. Yes, because that's how numbers work, I swear. His name is Shinra. Yes, that's Shinra. He's trying to research about using the planet's life force to create a new form of energy to power cities. So yeah, apparently he leaves this planet and goes to Midgar. Weird crossover. Speaking of crossovers, that wouldn't be a bad list. Oh, but I've already used Final... God, can we... Oh, but hi! I'm Oz from Indiehub, and this is the top 5 video game shared universes. You guys remember when DICE wasn't tarnished by, microtransactions? Well, back at that time, they actually created a game called Battlefield Bad Company. I loved this game. From the destructible environments to the witty humor to the ridiculous premise, it was just something that was fun and simple. It was a different time. Well, it's actually connected to the Mirror's Edge universe, specifically Mirror's Edge Catalyst. They placed the characters of Battlefield Bad Company inside of the game by placing them inside of the Intel recording. Specifically, Amistad Gold number 1.
You know. Yeah, does he know that? Of course he knows that. I call him Gabe and he calls me George Gordon.
Imagine if Mirror's Edge had the destructible environments like Bad Company. Can you imagine trying to free run while the wall is literally exploding? When looking at the two games Gone Home and BioShock, you would think that there is no possible way that these two games are related. In the BioShock 2 DLC, you can find a asteroid-esque vector graphic game called Spitfire. And in Gone Home, you can uncover some Super Nintendo cartridges. And one of these games is Super Spitfire. Now, this is far from a coincidence. On the actual Super Spitfire is the game's publisher, CMP Interactive. While Minerva's Den in BioShock 2, the protagonist's name is Charles Milton Porter. Porter started the company when he got back to the service before licensing Spitfire to a different company. So maybe you can go home to Rapture. Super good joke. I'm so funny. The funniest. I'm the funniest human being. Why did I do this? Did you know that Bomberman actually has, a story? At least the original does. Yeah, really, there's a story, and a kind of dark one. Bomberman is a robotic slave, and he hears a rumor one day that if he gets to the surface, he can become a human. So he decides to kill all of his fellow slaves and get to the top. So, spoilers for a super old game? Is there even such things as Bomberman spoilers? Anyway, when he reaches the top, he becomes the Lode Runner. That's right, Bomberman is actually a prequel for Lode Runner. Now, of course, after this point, they go their own separate ways, but how crazy is that? The ending of one game creates the story for a second game. Can't imagine that happening in a more modern day release. Ha! I tricked you. Super tricked you. You got tricked. I bet you didn't even know that Nier Automata and Drakengard come from the same universe. Well, same multiverse, I should say. Yes, Drakengard. You guys remember Drakengard. We all played it. No, just me? Okay. Well, to summarize the story of Drakengard, and then they fall through a portal, and that brings them to modern-day Tokyo, which then becomes Nier, which, of course, we have to do that story, too. And everyone dies, and that creates Nier Automata. Simple, right? Okay, I never said that these were the top 5 hard-to-find video game shared universes. Everyone knows that Undertale and Deltarune are the same multiverse, but why it's number 1 is because the story of Deltarune seems to be specifically related to the fact that it's related to Undertale. None of the other games, although they might have Easter eggs or connections, or in the case of Bomberman and Drakengard, creating the story for the next game, but this one is specifically in response to the first one. Undertale is a story about how choice matters, and choice is everything. You can choose to be good or bad, or kill or don't kill, depending upon how you see the story. But Deltarune is specifically about not having choice. So much so that the actual ending of part 1 ends with your avatar in this universe, the heart, gets thrown in a cave. I mean, the name Undertale, when you mix the letters up, just becomes Deltarune. That's like tinfoil hat levels of crazy. So, were there any shared universes that you were surprised by? There are plenty of more, and we might tackle this topic again in a future time. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, donate your firstborn, I don't know, whatever you gotta do. I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life. Probably don't sacrifice your firstborn to us. Don't do that. We don't have enough food. Anyway, this has been Oz from Indiehub, and I'm gonna go back to playing Final Fantasy VII for the rest of my life.